Hi there, Pisces, and welcome back to Feathered Serpent Tarot. I am here with your full moon focus for June 2017. This full moon is a really special one for most of us because it's in Sagittarius. So it's really fun-loving, light and airy, and full of fun. And before I get too far into the reading, I just forgot to say thank you for your subscribes, likes, and subscriptions. My daughter and I just started this channel about a week ago, and we are thrilled with the response that we're getting. And we're going to continue to work together to put together more material to share on this channel. So please stay tuned. I'm going to be traveling to Mexico soon, and I will be doing some research into the Mayan triple goddess Ixchel. So if that's something that interests you, please follow along. But yeah, so I just wanted to get that in there before I get into your reading. But I'm pretty excited for you because there's a bit of drama, but you're the star of the show, of your own drama. This is really nice to see for Pisces. This full moon falls in your 10th house of status. So it's not surprising to see the cards that have come out for this. And I'm not really sure where to start. I think that I'm going to start with, it looks like largely Pisces. You are kicking butt and taking names. You have got some pretty sharp words for, I think, a few people. There's a lot of swords here. There's a lot of kind of swirling magic. There's another two signs who are working their magic, Aquarius and Aries, in the face of adversity and challenge. So you're probably noticing a lot of synchronicities of timing, especially around whatever sorts of discussions, intense discussions that you're having with people. So I'm going to start off with, I've got two spreads. I have the Lenormand deck, which is not tarot, but tells a very interesting story with its symbolism. And then I have the traditional tarot using the Klimt deck, as well as the Rider-Waite for clarification on a 3-card spread, where we look at the focal point for the full moon for you, generally speaking, and then an angle on relationships and an angle on your professional life. I've also pulled a card from each one of those decks to give us an idea as to what the atmosphere of the circumstances are. So I'm thinking that that's where I'm going to start. So let's take a look at the atmosphere. This card especially, I'm wondering how many of you are relating to the dynamics that we're seeing at play here. The 7 of Wands is usually one where it's just, you're just standing your ground. You're defending your beliefs. You're doing the best you can. But in this card, it adds a little bit more. It's like, I will fight to the death to stand for what I believe in right now. So don't mess with me. So this is what I think is coloring pretty much everything you're doing right now. And what supports that is the Empress. So you know exactly who you are. You know exactly what you're dealing with. And you know that what you figured out is right for you is something that you need to defend. That's what's happening right now. Because without it, without defending it, like, you can stand pretty tall in this. So this may be truths that you're delivering to people in your family, I'm thinking. Because there's some issues, significant issues that people need to have told. People need to be told. So we've got the Magician. So this is seeing all sides of every situation, knowing what the problem is, and realizing that it's going to take some unconventional methods to bring it back into a place where you can work with it again. Enter the King of Swords. So you could have an air sign around you. And, there could be very, I'm not going to say heated discussions, because I'm not, there's a bit of fire in the Seven of Wands for sure, but it's more muted in that. This is more cutting right to the heart of things in a fairly mature fashion, coming at it from a top down as opposed to working your way up through a situation. There is a certain amount of authority that comes with these cards. So, I'm going to go to your professional life, because the story around your relationships, I think, is a lot more detailed. So to quickly get into your professional aspect of things, which I really think is a B story to whatever's going on in your life right now. So we have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is about too many choices, too many options, being confused, not having the clarity that's needed. And with Pisces, you're already a little bit, flighty and watery around that kind of thing anyway. So at work, you're probably experiencing maybe a greater intensity around that kind of dynamic. But I get the impression that once you resolve your relationship stuff, once you've gotten all of these thoughts, like you can't see clearly at work, because everything in your focus right now is on telling the people who need to be told in your personal life. So it could be distracting you. And, be careful of how long you allow that to happen. Just because it'll make things build that you're going to have to clean up later. So get through this telling people thing as quickly as possible. So I'll leave that for now. Maybe it goes into greater detail when you get into your own personal reading. So now let's get to the relationships. And we have the Knave of Swords, or the Princess of Swords. Again, look at all these swords. It's like, we got the King of Swords. Everybody's talking. This one is a little less mature. Maybe there's a younger air sign in this scenario with you in your relationship. But it looks as though by speaking up and putting things on the table and saying what needs to be said, it's going to change everything around for the better, which is supported by the Empress card, because you're so sure of yourself in that the Empress, like, this is feminine authority, power, knowledge, wisdom. You're coming from the right place. So again, the sooner that you get this, the luck will change. The situation will change for the better. And then you won't have as much confusion and anxiety in your working life. Because this is what happens when we become distracted by the things that mean so much to us, our intimate relationships. It can bleed into our workplace. So I'm feeling that as soon as you get these things resolved, you say your piece and you get moving forward, you're going to be okay. But don't be afraid to speak up this weekend. We're all playing different roles in the light of this Sagittarius full moon. And when you speak your piece, this is going to actually improve your reputation amongst your peers. And with the people that you're interacting directly with, the ones that you're in relationship with. And again, there's not a whole lot of cups, so I don't see it, and the fire, there's not a whole lot of fire. So these are sort of the practicalities of relationships within family units, let's say. So now let's go to the Lenormand and see what kind of a story that we have coming up through there that can give us insight as to what's happening in the tarot. So we have man and mountain. And man is a man, a husband, a son. So, a man. Mountain is obstacles, delay, and possibly traveling to the mountains. Now, the underlying or surrounding atmosphere to that is child. So, this could be an actual child. This could be discussions within a relationship around children. Stuff that needs to be said. There is an interesting thing that happens when you start pairing these cards together in terms of the story that emerges. So we have man and mountain. If we put those two together, we have a loner, a man who is blocked. And then with so then when we put child and man together, we've got a young man who may be a little bit immature and who's looking for a new start. So then when we put child and mountain together, we have a lonely child, a child who is blocked. So it sounds as if things around family, children, a lack of connection maybe with a father is becoming more urgent to address. Let's take a look at this. Which could provide a significant change in the dynamics for the family. But it's all very it's all very business, kind of straight up, straight to the point. There's not a lot of anger around it, and there isn't a lot of love. Perhaps it's the efforts to remain objective in a situation that's been tricky to navigate because of the personalities of the people involved. But it looks as though there may be children involved who need to be taken into greater consideration, or a child who needs to grow up, a child who needs to be supported in being successful on their own in the world, in being more social. And there's so many different ways that this can manifest. So if you feel the need towards the end of this week, Pisces, to say what needs to be said, feel free to do so and know that that is your threshold for this full moon. That communication is going to get a lot easier after Wednesday. So probably somewhere between Wednesday of this week and Friday, you're probably going to have some significant conversations. And then perhaps because you've had those conversations ahead of the full moon, you can actually celebrate it with the people involved and actually make a new start. Or at least make sure that everybody's on the same page. So all the best to you, Pisces. Do your best to enjoy this weekend and the fun that's available to all of us. But at the same time, if you feel the need to speak up, don't hold back. Let it all go. Have a great week.